What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of the Jays for Days podcast. I'm Josh. He's Josh. We got Jay's Jumpers, Jaron Jackson Jr.'s, John Morant's, Joe Johnson's, Ja Raff's, of course. We've got Jays. We got him for days. Josh, how you doing?
I'm very curious to see how this is going to go.
We are so obsessed with trivia time that we're just for the next 3 weeks going to do only trivia time. It's going to be great. I'm very curious though as well because I my encyclopedic, is that a word? Encyclopedic?
Yeah. hmm
My
I think so.
encyclopedic knowledge isn't great. I'm always kind of taken aback by my lack of ability to recall little things. I don't think it's as good as my attention to the sport would suggest. So like these kind of like back corner of college basketball history questions, they don't come to mind easily. So therefore there's a lot of research done for these kind of podcasts, and I have 8 trivia questions. I think 6 of them are solid. Some of them might be layups, all of them might be layups. I don't know. It'll be interesting for sure.
What I'm concerned about is your year to year contextual ability,
Mm,
because that's something I'm really bad at. You can just go, oh, 15, 16, that was, Duke, which I don't think it actually was.
no, 15-16 was the Villanova buzzer beater.
Yeah, see, there you go. I would have had to do a lot more thinking to get to that point. That's what concerns me about this matchup, is that you can put things into a year way better than I can, I feel like.
And I feel like your encyclopedic knowledge is way better than mine is. So that's interesting. That's interesting. This will be fun. So like I mentioned, 3 weeks of this, 3 different categories of trivia time, and we have a scoring system to see, to declare a quote unquote winner at the end. So this week is stats, right? So as you know, I don't totally know how you approached it and what you kind of threw stats into, but basically if it involves a number in any way, shape, or form, that was kind of the umbrella on which under which I operated. I tried to stay away from, who was in the Final Four this year, yada yada yada, because we will get to other categories that cover awards, that cover um, NCAA tournaments, Final Fours, that kind of thing. So this week is much more individually motivated. I do have a question, or maybe two. I think it's just one. I have one that could be argued whether or not it falls under this category, but I do think there's an argument. So, but if it had a number attached to it, I felt like you were pretty safe. And if you were just using, the leaders page of College Basketball Sports Reference, you were probably in at least a relatively respectable place. And so we'll go this week and then 2 more weeks after that to kind of get us closer to the beginning of preview time. I think that
Yeah.
gets us to the beginning of preview time. That's what we decided, right? Man,
hmm
it's kind of crazy. I don't know what's crazier, if we're just crazy for starting preview content on in the middle of August, or if it's crazy that it's already going to be the middle of August. I think it's debatable, but trivia time, Indy. We have 8 questions each. The scoring mechanism for the next few podcasts is as follows. So there's a base trivia question, and if you can answer the trivia question with no hints or anything, you get 5 points. If you need a hint and then you can answer the question correctly, you get 3 points. And then if you still can't answer the question, and you need a multiple choice, and then you answer the question correctly, at that point, you get 1 singular point. We'll add them up over all 3 pods and go from there. maybe to not waste time, we can recap at the beginning of like next week's pod. Perhaps there's, you know, here are the points added up from the previous pod to not have to waste the time at the end of the pod to add them up, because we are not math people, and if I do it quickly, I am there's a high chance of me getting it wrong. So
Now,
I believe
do we want to make it a best of 3 as well?
I think that's probably a good call. I like that. I like that. That's interesting because somebody could win the best of 3, but if the other person had a crazy good day,
Right.
there could be a different overall winner. Okay, we'll do both. We'll do both. Right. The original motivation was do 3 of these, have a best of 3. We can also keep tally over all 3 days to see whose points are the highest. Alrighty. Shall we embark? Anything else we should lay out before we get into it?
I think I'm ready. Let's do this.
Let's do it. Would you like to ask the first trivia time question?
I can do that.
All right, go for it.
Okay, we're gonna start. Oh, so we should also say this is the last decade,
Oh yes,
starting with the 2013-14 season.
correct.
So we are not pulling things from 1972 here.
Yes, that would make it truly a
Yes.
pointless exercise.
Okay, this one specifically has to do with last season, though.
Okay.
There was a player who tied Steph Curry's record for the most made 3-pointers in a single season. Who was it?
Most made 3-pointers in a single season. My instinct is the only guy who last year rivaled the points per game that Steph was putting up in college. So my instinct is Antoine Davis.
That is incorrect.
Wow. Okay.
He was close.
Okay.
I think he was maybe within 10 or 15. I don't
Okay.
remember exactly. Okay. Your hint is that I believe we have mentioned this guy a couple times on the pod before. I don't really remember why. It's not like we ever had a conversation about him in particular, but I feel like his name has come up. And you're on the right track thinking not a high profile, big name school kind of thing. He's more in the
Man.
Antoine Davis realm.
I'm a little bit at a loss.
You definitely know who this person is. I think you have mentioned this person on the pod before.
See, the guys who come to mind first are guys that didn't play college basketball last year, like the Fletcher McGee's of the world. But that's not. But those aren't the correct answers, obviously. Tied Steph Curry's all-time single season. Is that correct?
162.
162. That's a lot of threes. That's what, 4 a game? 6 a game?
Somewhere in there. 5.
5? I guess 5. If you played 30 games, you got to, so it's just over 5. Man, I'm gonna have to call for a multiple choice. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, one of the options I had was Antoine Davis, so you immediately
Okay.
get to cross that one out. So now you're choosing
Sick.
between 3.
Sick.
Darius McGee, Jordan Walker, Max Asmus.
Max Asmus.
It was Darius McGee.
Wow. Starting 0 for wow. Man, we gotta lock in immediately. Man, you're gonna get the first one of mine, so we'll see. Okay. All right. Shouts to Darius McGee. That name crossed my mind when I said Fletcher McGee, but I don't know why it just didn't click that would have been the answer. Well, shouts to Darius McGee. Shouts to you. Man, swing and a miss. Huge swing and a miss.
That was one of my tougher ones, I will say.
Okay. Ooh, we have media here in our Jace for Days studio here, we have live. Is there any like dings like correct? No. There's only
Oh,
laughing. I
that's
might have to
disappointing.
I might have to put some like ants and ding ding dings in here to see there's some clapping, some laughing, some cheering. Those things might work. But okay. All right. What can you do? What can you do? All right. Number one on my side of things. In 2015-16, Howard's James Daniel led the country in scoring, 27.1 points per game. Okay.
Okay.
The player who finished second in scoring, led the country in 3-point field goals in 2015-16, and he was number 2 in the country in points per game.
Okay.
Name that player.
Second in the country in scoring, leading in made 3-pointers.
And made 3-pointers. Correct.
I'm going to say Trae Young.
That is incorrect.
Uh-oh.
Your hint. So I have 2 hints here. I have a college basketball based hint, and I have a NBA career based hint.
Oh,
Which
I
one
think,
would you
okay.
like?
I've got another guess after your hints.
Okay.
I
Well, which
wanna
one
see
do you
if
want? Which hint do you want? Do you want the college basketball based one or the career based one?
College-based one, please.
This player led his team to the Final Four that season.
Buddy Hield.
That is correct. The correct answer is Buddy Hield. I thought there was a chance that you would mix up him and Trae Young.
Yep.
Trae Young was not part of the multiple
That
choice
team-
because the hint I picked other guys in the Final Four
Sure.
from
Yep.
that season
Yep.
to make it a little bit more difficult.
Make it make sense, yeah.
But yes, the correct answer is Oklahoma's Buddy Hield. That is correct. Well done. 3 points to Mr. Doring, taking an early commanding lead. Jeez. Okay. Continue. Number 2.
Okay, this one is interesting. Who is the last high major coach? This could include doesn't have to be a current coach. The last high major coach, or so essentially the last high major program to lead the nation in winning percentage in a season.
The last high major program / so do you want the coach or the program?
Yes, coach. I framed it as coach.
Okay.
But it's obviously one and the same, right?
Right, sure.
So I will accept either.
So this is interesting because there's generally in high major we're talking like the 6 conferences.
Yes.
So like Wichita State, the year they were a 1 seed, and they went like 35-1. That would be a mid major, and that would not count. Okay.
Correct. Also,
But Gonzaga doesn't count as well.
Correct. There are a lot of Mark Fews on this list.
Okay. High major. So it wouldn't have been last year because
I believe last year actually was Florida Atlantic.
Good shout. Because last year there wasn't really a high major team that was like crazy.
No.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And then the previous 2 years. The previous 2 years it would have been Gonzaga, I think. I'm not totally sure if this is right. Well, I'll say it after, but I'm going to go. And this is their entire season, right? Not just regular season?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to go 14-15 Kentucky.
That is incorrect.
Mm.
You don't have to go back
I don't have to go that far.
quite that far. You're on the right track in terms of this was a very, 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 very good team. You go, oh, it would make sense. They had the highest winning percentage in the country. Not quite that dominant, but.
So I guess we'll go to the hint next, right?
Yeah.
Since I got it right. So wait, so we need to clarify here. So what if I get the first answer wrong? I suppose we should just make it mandatory. You have to go to the hint next to keep the scoring streamlined, rather than you getting a couple of guesses at the 5-point slot.
Yes. You get one 5-point guess. Yes.
Okay. All right. So your hint.
Yeah. So that would be my hint. Is you're on the right track in terms of NCAA tournament success, dominant team, best team in the country. You just don't need to go quite. The bar is not that Kentucky team high, if that makes sense.
Then I'll go to Virginia.
There you go. Tony Bennett, 2017, 18, and 18, 19.
Okay. How about that? Okay.
Isn't that was kind of interesting?
That was my other thought. Villanova also came to mind. I probably should have gone Virginia first. Oh well. Well, we'll take the 3 points. We'll take the 3 points. Okay. (2017-18) Loyola Chicago, Sister Jean, Porter Moser, Final Four run.
Okay.
Who led the team in scoring?
Ooh. I'm going to say Clayton Custer, and I don't feel good about it.
I'm disappointed in you. That is correct. It is Clayton Custer. It's the only season that he led in his Loyola Chicago career. Is the only season that he was the leading scorer. Because the next year it was Marcus Towns. And the previous year it was not Marcus Towns or Clayton Custer. I don't remember who it was off the top of my head. But they all averaged like between 10.5 and 12 points. So it could have been any of them, but technically it was like he averaged like 12.2 or something, or 11.9, but it was Clayton Custer. Well done.
Oh, that was lucky.
Well done. Josh off to a commanding start through 2 questions here on the Jays for Days podcast. Okay, number 3.
Number 3. This might be the one I feel most confident you're going to get. Who had in this time period, who had the highest single season player efficiency rating? I think this is actually might be the highest one of all time. But specifically in this time period.
Zion?
That is incorrect.
I think I got it wrong. I think I know who it is, but give me the hint.
Okay. Yeah, so my hint is don't think too hard about this. It seems very logical that this player would be a very efficient player that would have this honor.
Is it Zach Edey?
That is correct.
Great. I have a similar question that will come later that is not exactly the same, but it kind of in the same spirit. Okay. Number 3 here is tough for me as someone trying to win the day, but here we go. Only one team in this period went wire to wire in the regular season as the number 1 team in the country. Name the team and 3 players on their roster.
Oh. I have 2 guesses. I'm going to go. Was it 14-15 Kentucky?
That is correct.
Now can I name 3 players on the roster? Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Was Michael Kidd Gilchrist on that team?
I don't know.
Jeez. Who were the guards? Marquise Teague was on that team. That's my second official guess.
One moment. Let me get back to their roster. I forgot to write them all down. Okay.
I get one more. Oh. Trying to increase my confidence level in this answer. Final answer, DeAndre Liggins.
You're gonna be kicking yourself here. Cat is the only of those three that you named on the 14-15 team. Marquise Teague was earlier in the decade.
Okay. I thought Liggins was later.
So you got it partially correct. So we'll have to have a conversation here about how many points because you should be able to. So your hint here is so it is Kentucky. Your hint here is. I mean, I could give you a hint for all of the players, but that's not how I'll do it. Your hint here is that there were two kind of waves of Kentucky lineups this year.
Yes.
This was the year that nobody played. Like the leading scorer on this team scored 11 points per game.
Yeah.
Your official hint is your official hints are guard under 6 feet, all NBA, and twins.
Yeah, I knew the twin. I couldn't place the twins though.
Like you couldn't place their names?
So it was the Thompsons.
No.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's not their last name.
That's what. Yeah, those were the twins I was thinking of, and I thought they weren't on that team.
Mm-mm.
I knew that. Yeah, I was thinking the exact same things you said, and I just can't place them.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's got to be one of two guys. So I'm gonna say SGA.
Nope, that was later.
That's okay. Devin Booker then.
Yep, that's another. And there were like 8 NBA guys on this team.
Was Michael Kidd Gilchrist on that team?
Mm-mm. That's prior.
That's what yeah. Okay. Who are the twins? I'm really embarrassed. I can't place the twins.
They were both like top 5 in the recruiting class.
Yeah.
One of them played for the Grizzlies for a while. I don't think either of them are in the NBA anymore.
Guard under 6 feet.
And that player was a freshman on this team, and then the years to come would become the best player on Kentucky's team.
Yep.
Maybe that's not true because the next year he was one of the best players on that team, but one
Ay,
Jamal
ay,
Murray
ay.
actually averaged more points than he did that
Okay.
year, the following year.
I
Jamal Murray
remember.
averaged 20 points in college. I don't remember that. I don't remember
Yeah, I
him
don't
being
know
that good.
either. See, I remember all of these things, and yet I can't place the players.
Fair.
I feel like I need to use my multiple choice for the last one.
Okay. So I'll readjust the multiple choice a
Okay.
little bit because the multiple choice was Kentucky, Duke, Wisconsin, Michigan State, and
Yeah,
then
okay.
with some names. So I'll give you 4 names, and you have to tell me which one of those 4 is your third guy. So you
Okay.
have 2. You have Cat and Booker, and I'll give you 3 more. I'll give you 4 more guys, and you have to tell me which of the 4 is the last guy on the roster.
Okay.
Okay. Here
Yep.
we go. Your multiple choice is A, James Young, B, Tyler Hero, C, Isaiah Briscoe, or D, Trey Lyles.
It's not Hero. I'm gonna say James Young.
That is incorrect.
Oh,
James Young.
boy.
James Young was the year before. Trey Lyles was also a part of that 2014-15
Jeez.
Kentucky team. Okay, so we need to have a conversation about how many points you get there.
See,
Because
I
you
feel
got.
like I get.
Do you think? Is it an all or nothing kind of thing, or
I feel
is
like I
it
deserve 0.
okay? Hey, as one trying to come back from a deficit here, I will absolutely take it. Okay,
I am ashamed. Who were the twins?
Andrew and Aaron Harrison.
Okay, so I had. Oh, that's what I knew it was. I said Aaron Thompson, not splitting them and getting the Butler player. Because I knew one of them was Aaron.
Yep, Aaron Harrison.
They were the Harrisons, not the Thompsons.
That is correct.
So okay, yeah, I was thinking the right people, just couldn't get their last name. Okay,
correct.
Well, that was rough.
The leading score, the top 7 leading scorers, and the guard under 5'9" was Tyler Ulis.
Yep.
All right, through 3. Jamal roaring back with 6 points. JD a 2-point lead with 8 points through 3 questions. Number 4.
This is going to be interesting.
Okay.
I think you'll appreciate this question, though. The 2013-14 season featured defensive specialists Aaron Craft and Marcus Smart.
Okay.
However, there was a VCU guard who collected 32 more steals than both of those players in that season. Who is that VCU guard? This might be the toughest one I have.
Was it like Marcus Evans? Who
that
was
is
the
incorrect.
other? Who is the VCU guard that was? All right, after the question, I'll look it up.
Okay.
But okay. All
right. So my hint, and I don't know how helpful this is going to be.
Okay.
But when I saw this stat, I went, oh, that checks out, because I remember that player because of how many steals they had.
Okay.
I distinctly remember this being a thing. I couldn't have told you that he had. I wasn't shocked that this player had that many more steals than who you would associate as 2 of the best defensive guards in the country.
Okay.
So think defense, and just think VCU under Shaka, because this might be the first name that comes to mind for me of those teams. I don't know if that's just me, but this name stood out. This was, I think, his junior year, maybe. He was there. He was a 4-year VCU guy, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm gonna need the multiple choice. The
Okay.
names aren't coming to my head.
Okay. A. Travion Graham.
Okay.
B. Briante Weber. C. Mo Alley Cox. D. Jairus Lyles.
Run through them again for me.
Travion Graham, Briante Weber, Mo Alley Cox, Jairus Lyles.
B.
That is correct. Briante Weber.
Okay. Yeah, that was a name. That was a name I was never gonna get. Who am I thinking of? Who is the other? Mo Alley Cox. That's so funny. I think of the Colts tight end when you say Mo Alley Cox.
That is the same Colts tight end.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that. Okay, and this is the same. This is the Jairus Lyles this is UMBC
Yes.
Jairus Lyles. Okay. All right.
He played 1 year at VCU, didn't get on the floor much and transferred. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Briante Weber. All right. I'll take the 1 point there on a VCU question.
Yeah, that one was tough.
That he had that many more than
Yep.
Aaron Kraft, my guy. Wow. I'm impressed.
I just remember him getting all kinds of deflections and steals for those VCU teams under Shaka.
God, Shaka must have loved him. Must have absolutely loved him. Okay. Number 4 on my side. 2018-19. There's one player who shows up in the top 10 of both points per game and rebounds per game nationally. He averaged 25 and 11 this year. Who is that player?
18-19. I'm going to go Mike Daum.
Well done. That is correct. My boy, Mike Daum. Your hint was going to be finished his career in the top 10 of college basketball's all-time scoring list. But yes, that is correct. Your answer is Mike Daum. Josh, it takes command once again, 13-7. Wow. It's like it's like the 3-point shot. Yeah, you might miss more than your twos, but those 3-pointers, the ultimate equalizer. It also doesn't help that I also have a 0 on the board and yet to have a 5. Okay. Halfway home. Yes, Mike Daum is the correct answer. Well done.
Are you ready for number 5?
I'm ready.
Which player produced the second most points per game? So this is not just scoring, this is points production.
Okay.
In a single season. This is second all time. But the most in this time period.
Okay. So this is like all of the points you were involved in, basically.
Yes.
I'm going to go with Ja.
That is a good guess. I think he was 7th or something.
Okay. But that is incorrect.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
My hint will be think more on you're on the right track in terms of this was a dominant guard. Think more on the scoring side, though. This player is not as multidimensional with the ball as Ja. This is very much a scorer first.
Are we talking like all-time level scorer?
Yes.
Okay. Chris Clemens?
Very good guess. So here are the multiple choices I have, and I will give you. See, I feel like you deserve credit for being in the ballpark. So,
well, horseshoes and hand grenades.
My 4 multiple choice options are A. Antoine Davis, B. Chris Clemens, C. Ja Morant, D. Mike Daum.
Then I'm Antoine Davis.
That would be correct.
Okay. All right. I'll add another singular point to my board for crying out loud. All right.
Chris Clemens was a very good guess, though. You took my hint, and I feel like there were 2 guys. It was him or Antoine Davis, and you just happened to go with Chris Clemens.
I'm disappointed. Okay. Number 5 on my side. In 2018 and 19, Zion Williamson had an effective field goal percentage of over 70%. However, 3 players in the last 10 years have finished the season with a better effective field goal percentage than Zion did. But 1 player did it twice. So 1 player in the last 10 years has finished the season with an effective field goal percentage better than what Zion finished with in 2018-19. Okay?
Okay.
Zion led the country in 2018-19. This guy led the country twice. And both times it was with a better field goal percentage, effective field goal percentage than Zion. Who is that player?
I'm going to guess Zach Edey.
That is incorrect.
Mm.
Because Zach Edey had some of those games sometimes where he was like there were just some games where he didn't really have it from a touch perspective. He would go 11 of 20 from the field, right, or 9 of 19. Like that happened a few times.
Yeah.
And that was you're on the right track in terms of dominance. And this guy was a first round pick, high major player, and was a first round pick in the NBA draft when he left college.
Udoka Azubuike?
That is correct. Doak was he is first of all time effective field goal percentage. He's first, like for career, and sandwiched in between the year that Zion was the leader in effective field goal percentage, Azubuike was the leader in effective field goal percentage. So in 2017-18 and then again in 19-20. But 18-19 was the year that Azubuike was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came back and then Kansas was the best team in the country when that tournament got canceled. But That is correct. So 3 points to Josh there. All right. Moving forward, number 6.
Well, let's do this one next. Which former Big 12 standout has 2 of the 3 highest effective field goal percentage seasons of all time?
Udoka Azubuike.
That is correct.
Let's go.
You'll be happy to know that Natty Poi himself was one of the multiple choice options.
Love it. Shouts to Natty Poi. It's a big 5 points for the Molar there. Big 5 points. All right. Number 6. Since the 2013-14 season, 3 players have averaged more than 10 assists per game as the leading assist guy in the country.
Ooh.
Only 3. Can you name 2 of them?
I have 2 guesses. I'm going to go Ja.
Ja is one of them.
Now, between the other 2 that are coming to mind, I'm going to say Yuri Collins.
Well done. Very well done. Last year, Yuri Collins, 10.1. Ja averaged 10 in 2018-19. And Jason Brickman from LIU. I'm sure that was the next guy on your
absolutely
on your guesses. He averaged 10 in 2013-14. Notably, Kay Felder never averaged 10. Trae Young didn't average 10.
That was the other name I was thinking about.
And wasn't anywhere near as close as I thought it was. It was like south of 8 by the time the season was over. Yeah. At least if I'm remembering correctly. But I think at one point it was like this guy's averaging 23 and 10. Sorry, just south of 9. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
He was 27 and 8.7. So it wasn't as close. I mean, it's still and a lot of assists for a college basketball player, but it was not as close to 10 as I remembered it being. But that is well done. Ja and Yuri Collins were, and Trae Young was one of my multiple choices as well. So well done. 5 points for JD here. And I think, you've basically locked it up as long as you don't go 0 for 10 in points over the next 2 questions. All right, number 7.
Okay. This one might be mean. I don't feel as bad about it since you got the other one kind of handed to you with Azubuike. I'm curious if you know this, though. Which player had the most career assists of players who were completely in this time period?
Which player had the most assists of players that played in this time period?
Exclusively, right? So this isn't somebody who started in 2011, 12, and then continued in. Their entire career was 13, 14 onward.
I'm going to guess Kay Felder.
Good guess. That is incorrect.
Okay.
My hint, I don't know how helpful it's going to be. You're on the right track. Think a even less prominent player at a less prominent school.
Jeez.
And if nothing else, that should help with the multiple choice.
Do I know who this guy is?
I didn't. I kept this in just because I thought you might.
Uh-huh.
I was unaware of this person, which is why I used the question.
I don't know. I'll take a multiple choice.
Your multiple. So keep that hint in mind with the multiple choice. Cassius Winston, Colby Ross, Jalen Pickett, Cameron Langley.
Cameron Langley.
That is correct. NCAA&T's very own.
Very nice. He was an assist leader. I remember seeing that name. Now that you,
very okay. That makes me feel a little better.
I remember seeing the name. Well, I saw the name this morning when I was looking up my own assist question.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know who that was either, but I do recognize that name from earlier this morning. Okay. Number 7. Are you ready?
Yep.
I'm getting stomped. Absolutely stomped. Last season, 28 different players recorded a triple-double. Who was the only one to record multiple?
Oh, boy. Multiple triple-doubles. I'm going to guess Yuri Collins?
That is incorrect. I don't remember looking. He might have been one of the 28, but there was one guy with 2 and then 27 guys tied at second with 1. Your hint is you would not consider him the first, second, or even maybe third. He's arguably the third best player on his team last year.
Oh, Andre Jackson.
That is incorrect.
Oh, I was feeling pretty good about that.
I mean, you should feel very warm about that. Your multiple choice is Kirk Krissa at Arizona, Zach Fremantle at Xavier, Coleman Hawkins at Illinois, or Tristan Newton at UConn.
Oh, so it's got to be Tristan Newton then.
Correct. It is Tristan Newton.
I would have never guessed that.
Right? I mean, right, there was some like Mr. Triple Double. Like I felt like I didn't remember him getting multiple. I have more memories of him being close than of him actually getting them.
I feel like I remember 1.
Yeah.
But I would have never gotten 2.
Yeah, he had 2. Right? Okay. Is that fair that you are arguably the third, if not the fourth best player on that team?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Also hold on. College basketball, triple doubles. The list I thought was interesting. Hold on. Also, the all-time leader is Kyle Collinsworth from BYU. Remember him? He played in the 2010s. Yep. He has twice as many as the second most guy. He had 12 triple doubles. Michael Anderson at Drexel in the mid 80s is second. Shaq is tied for second with 6. Would you like to guess? So Caitlin Clark has 11 triple doubles.
Okay.
Who's first in the women's and all time college hoops? Don't think too hard.
I'm gonna go Candace Parker.
No, that's incorrect. Closer than that. More exciting than that. You once dubbed this woman,
Sabrina.
Do you want to guess how many she had in college?
I'm gonna say 20 plus.
26. 26.
Why did
Sick.
I not guess her first?
Insane.
Jeez.
So cool. So you got the multiple choice correct. So that's 1
Yes.
point for JD there at number 7. The score is a lot to a lot less right now. You are sitting pretty at 22 points, and I am at 14 at the moment. So you have wrapped up this episode, but we'll see if I can get any closer with number 8.
Okay. I cheated a little bit with this question, but it's not a trivia time if we don't have a Monte Morris question.
Okay.
So here we go.
Okay. My guess is Monte Morris.
That would be incorrect.
Oh,
So,
never mind. That was a joke.
The question is, Monte Morris is tied with which former WAC Player of the Year and NBA champion for 49th on the all-time assist list?
For 49th on the all-time assist list. Okay, WAC NBA champion.
Yeah, WAC Player of the Year and NBA champion.
And he also played in this.
No, I cheated and made it Monte Morris's career tribute.
Okay.
This is not some, and this won't be the hint, but this is not some obscure guy you've never heard of. This player was a very prominent college basketball player when he was there.
On the all-time assists, is that what you said?
Yes.
NBA champion, WAC Player of the Year. Okay. NBA champion. Did he win his tie? This is a hint. I guess you can't tell me that. Never mind. WAC NBA champion. Is it Jason Kidd?
Good guess.
I don't know where Jason Kidd went to college.
Cal.
You know where Jason? Cal. Okay, that was respectable then.
Yeah, you were in the ballpark. Okay, so my hint is to pay attention to the NBA champion part of this more than the prominence of the player. So he was a very, very, very good college basketball player that got national recognition for what he was doing at this WAC school.
Okay.
He became even more well-known, I would argue, for becoming an NBA champion in the role he played on that team. Not that he was a star on that team by any means, but he got a lot of attention in his NBA career, specifically around that championship and that team.
Can I get a secondary hint? Can I supply you with a secondary hint?
Yes.
Did he win the title in this time period that we're talking about?
Yes, I believe so. It's a recent title. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he absolutely did. Yeah.
Is it Sean Livingston?
No. I do not believe Sean. I think Sean Livingston went straight from high school.
Did he go straight from high school? Okay.
Are you ready for multiple choice?
I suppose.
So, I will tell you right off the bat that all of these players did play in the WAC.
Okay.
Now, their schools may not still be in the WAC, but your multiple choice options: Andre Miller, Tim Hardaway, Ramon Sessions, Matthew Dellavedova.
Oh, Dellavedova.
That is correct.
Yeah. I don't think the other ones have won a title, have they?
I think
Dellavedova, that's a good one.
I don't think they've won. I think I picked WAC Player of the Year rather than NBA champions. I picked one or the other.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good one. Thank
you.
Okay. Well, I got 1 point there. Okay. Here we go. as you can imagine, due to the COVID year, the top like 250 players all time in college basketball history of games played, they like all played in the last 6 years. One player with 179 games played in college has played 7 more than second and is the all-time leader. Who is that player?
Oh my. So this is a player in the time period.
Oh yeah, because all 250 played in the last 6 years because of the COVID year.
Yeah. Okay. Because there could have been somebody that got 5 years in because of an injury or something. Well, I guess they still only would have played 4 years of actual games at that point, though.
This guy was there for 6 years.
6.
So he had a redshirt year,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a COVID year.
The only name I can think of that's coming to mind is Jalen Coleman-Lands.
No, that's a good guess. That's a good guess. Your hint is he was never the best player on his teams, but you'd probably identify him as a player on this team even before his multi-time All-American teammate.
Before his multi.
Maybe he had the potential one of these years to be the best player on his team, but there was a teammate he played with that reached different levels of the sport.
Jordan Bohannon?
That's correct.
Ah.
That's correct. Jordan Bohannon is the all-time leader in games played in college.
That was a good hint.
I feel like that was too good of a hint, but yes, that was an excellent hint. I agree. The list of players is like, it's not, at this point, the best players to play, the best college basketball players from here to the end of time won't be anywhere near the top of that list. Just because of how the sport operates. Jalen Coleman-Lands is second.
Okay.
At 172, but we're talking like Chavez Goodwin at USC, Darius McGee, Garrison Brooks, what a shout. Mitch Lightfoot, Connor McCaffrey. My multiple choice was Kihei Clark, Jordan Bohannon, Connor McCaffrey, and Reggie Chaney. So Kihei Clark with his
Yep.
Kyle Guys and DeAndre Hunters, and then
I
Bohannon and McCaffrey.
I think he might have the ACC record.
Well, let's see. We can play that game. So Kihei has 161. And the teams that I see in the ACC ahead of him, the only one is Theo John, but Theo John didn't play all of his games at Duke. Right. And Storm Murphy, but Storm Murphy didn't play all of his games at Virginia Tech. So I think you're right.
I think I heard that on a broadcast last year.
I think that is correct. Well done. Okay, final tally. I was adding them up, so I'll just give them to you. JD takes game 1 by a landslide. If JD took the points that he got from the first 5 questions, he'd still take game 1. I finished with, let's see, that's 11, 12, 13, 14. I finished with 16 points. No, 15 points. I finished with 15 points. JD finished on the day with 15, 18, 21, 25 points. Well done. Well done, sir. Takes game 1 of trivia time here on the Jays for Days podcast. Next week is what's next week? Which one did we decide was week 2? One of them is NCAA tournaments stuff.
Yep.
Did you jot it down?
Double check here. I did. Stand by.
Can always depend on Josh to have jotted it down. Love it.
Yes. Okay. So we have team next, and then we're finishing with NCAA tournament.
Okay. All right. Sweet.
So
That could be
the
fun.
idea with the teams and winning is more, conference titles and things like that. So again, the goal is to separate that from the NCAA tournament.
I'm in. Sounds fantastic. All right, Josh, anything else after your dominant performance here in game 1?
Job's not done yet. Got to come back stronger next week.
I'm going to turn off the microphones before you say anything else cookie cutter like that. All right, we'll be back next week for Trivia Time Part 2. Please subscribe to the Jace Race podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at Jace Race Pod. We'll be back in a week with team trivia. Thank you so much for listening to this edition of the Jays 4 Days podcast. I'm Josh. He's Josh. And we will see you later.